All right, I think we can get started. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. We're very excited to see each other for one last time, I guess, for this edition of the UN Big Data Hackathon. So I'll share my screen and we can get started. All right. All right. Yeah. So today we're meeting one last time in order to close on the UN Big Data Hackathon. Just as a disclaimer, I know a lot of you have asked about the certificates of participation and awards. We'll be sending them in the next few days. Don't worry, we haven't forgotten you. We're very proud of the work you accomplished, and of course, we want to make sure that it's documented. We're also working on additional activities to make sure that we take advantage of all the amazing ideas you came up with, so stay tuned. But for today, we really wanted to focus on rewarding you guys for all the amazing work you put in this hackathon. And with that being said, we'll get started with an opening statement from Ronald Jensen, who is the Assistant Director, Chief of Data Innovation and Capacity Branch at the United Nations Statistics Division and Department of Economic and Social Affairs. So Ronald, I'll let you get started with us.
Thank you, Maima, and hello to everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yes, I'm very happy to be able to say a few words about the 2022 Big Data Hackathon of the UN. First of all, this event is a side event of the Statistical Commission, which will take place in the week of 28 February to the 3rd of March. So it is. It also has, like, that's the point I will stress in my opening statement. The hackathon also has a kind of an official status within the work that we are doing at the United Nations. So I would like you to keep that in mind. The hackathon was organized, is actually the second time that we organized it, between the UN Committee of Experts on Big Data and Data Science for Official Statistics and the UN Major Group for Children and Youth, especially the Science and Policy team of that group. And in that, especially, I guess, the data scientists. So this UN Committee of Experts on Big Data and Data Science was established about 10 years ago to help national statistical offices in modernizing and innovating the way they could use new data sources, the way they could use data science, all of that, of course, at national levels to see how they could get more detailed, more frequent, more granular data for better policies. This committee, the official part of the committee are 30 member states and 16 international organizations. You can see information on that on the website. But it has a much larger community of experts from private sector, from academia, from civil society, working on a whole range of issues in innovation. Yesterday, we also had a webinar specifically on privacy enhancing technologies, where you could see all of the experts from the different communities coming together. With regards to the Big Data Hackathon, so we, as I said, we collaborate with the major group on children and youth, and we chose as a theme, an overall theme and overall purpose of the hackathon to develop ideas and solutions to address global challenges and help achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. So that's a very broad and lofty kind of purpose for what we're trying to do, but really we were trying to see how we can help. Because there are many challenges. I mean, if it is in poverty, food insecurity, energy or rising energy prices, inequalities, and so forth. Those kind of topics we stressed for the 2022 Big Data Hackathon. We were actually working in 2 tracks, as you know. One was the Big Data Expert track, which was using especially the AIS vessel tracking data. It's a large data that we have at the UN available for countries to work with, and we made them available also for tasks for these for these hackathon teams to work with. We also had the youth track where we made other kinds of data available, and also we had the good support of AWS to make sure that that teams could develop their solutions within the AWS environment if they wanted to. In total, we had together with and I should mention this once here also, we had a privacy enhancing technology hackathon as well. Will not be mentioned here today. There was a separate independent event that we organized at the same time. So in total, about 2,000 data scientists and statisticians participated. The actual hackathon took place in November, as you know, during the 7th International Conference on Big Data and Data Science for Official Statistics, which was an in-person event in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. We have at those kinds of events, we have a lot of attention from senior policymakers, and in this case also we had the attention of the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, the Undersecretary General of UN ASCAP, our office in Bangkok, and some of the ministers in Indonesia. They spoke for this event in Indonesia. And they were very much aware also of the fact that we had so many young data scientists and statisticians working with us in the hackathon. And they were also very, very heartened and enthusiastic about that. Especially the Deputy Secretary General really likes work of the youth and also really likes work on new data development. So those 2 things, something that really draw her attention. Today we will see some of the solutions of the winners. On the winner of the youth track was the Data I team. I was very how you say that, surprised and interested to see that the Data I team, who's from Lebanon, had actually two of its members out of the UN family. So they're working in a UN office in Beirut. I didn't know that, of course, when we were doing the evaluation. But it was really good to see that we have some young UN statisticians also participate, and that they're also able to turn good ideas into good data solutions. So we will hear about that in a few minutes. And on the big data track, we had a team from Indonesia, which we hear also about, who were the winners there. Okay, yeah. So one thing I want to mention is that we will invite or we will pay for participation of at least 1 and hopefully 2 members of the winning teams to come to the World Data Forum and also present at that venue. Finally, there are so many ideas that are coming out of the Big Data Hackathon, and I've discussed this with the youth group, how we could take these ideas also to the next level. Can we do something with the outcome and see if those kinds of solutions which have been brought forward could actually be used in practical situations? So in those cases, we need to find additional partners. We need to further develop the solutions. But that's something that I will try to see, given the fact where I started off is that that we're really working in a context where we are working with national statistical officers who do these kinds of things at a daily basis. So how can we also take some of these solutions out of the hackathon and use it for better policies at the level where these solutions were presented? So with that, I want to thank all of those who participated in the hackathon. I also would like, of course, to thank all of those who organized it. It was a big task. We started in probably around April, May last year to organize the hackathon. We're bringing it to a close right now, but we are going to do this again, right? We're going to do this again, and we're going to do this better, and we will hear also a little bit about that during this this webinar. And for the next time, for the 2023 Big Data Hackathon, we will start even earlier. We will start right now to also to make sure that that at a technical level we do everything correct for the next hackathon, but also maybe that we can start thinking about how the outcome of the hackathon can actually be further worked on to bring it into real life solutions. And with that, I'll give back to Maima.
Thank you so much, Ronald, for the excellent speech. As you can see, we are very excited with everything you've accomplished. We're very happy to see you here today, and we're hoping to see you again or see some of your friends or colleagues in future editions of the hackathon. We want to make sure this work is accounted for. And next is kind of a little video showcasing some of the highlights from the hackathon. Let's review together some highlights from the 2022 edition of the UN Big Data Hackathon. In numbers, the hackathon took place over the course of 4 days. There were people from all around the world representing 40 countries. In total, 165 teams, with over 600 participants took place in the Big Data Hackathon. The theme was to use big data and data science to develop ideas and solutions to address global challenges and help achieve sustainable development goals in order to support policies caused by the disruption to global value chains and economic globalization due to disasters, conflicts, restrictions, blockages, the impact of climate change on society as part of monitoring SDG 13, rising food and energy prices affecting vicious cycles of poverty, hunger, and inequalities. The teams came from multiple regions, Asia and Oceania, so more than 50 teams representing Europe, the Middle East and North Africa region, Africa, as well as Latin America and North America. Congratulations to all of these teams which we're putting on a map today for the amazing work that you accomplished. Now let's take a look at some images from the on-site hackathon events.
Information system. Okay, the first one is Ali. Say hi to everybody, Ali. And this one is Anna. And
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone again for the great work. We were very happy to have you on site. For those of you who were able to make it, for those of you who were here virtually, we were able to communicate with you through Slack. And overall, from our perspective, it was a good event. So again, thank you so much for working that hard over these 4 days and being also patient with us as we were looking into all the amazing ideas you came up with. With that being said, let's review. Sorry, I just want to get to. Okay, so with that being said, let's not wait any further. You are all aware of the awards, but we really wanted to take advantage of this webinar to go over them one by one and to congratulate all the teams that got awards for their amazing work. We'll start with the youth track, and of course, first of all, the overall winning team from the youth track, Team Data I from Lebanon. Congratulations to Rina, Muhammad, Sarah, and Dima for your work on developing a food assistance optimizer to create a sustainable solution to achieve zero hunger. So the team introduced the platform Spoonful, which aims to optimize food distribution programs in Lebanon by identifying the most vulnerable population and ensuring the right people are reached and optimizing food parcel price without compromising quality and nutritional targets. So they basically use these recommendations to develop a web app that provides the optimized subsidy basket price and optimal price of households served given the budget allocated. They'll share more about this application later, but it was a very thorough study that potentially could be implemented in the future in this region and other regions as well. So congratulations to the Team Data I. Let's clap on teams for them. The second place of the youth track was obtained by Team M3GA from the Philippines. Congratulations to Mark, Jillian, Margarita, Miguel, and Angelo for your work on introducing a crop diversification using a network science approach to agricultural supply chain. So the team was aiming to reduce the impact of food supply shocks and inflation in food prices in the Philippines due to the increased instances of natural calamities. And for that, they used a network science approach to help policymakers manage crop supply using crop diversification. They were able to do so by identifying areas similar to each other, but are geographically distant, so that natural calamities do not cripple supply of essential goods. Their work was really awesome and really practical. So congratulations again, Team M3GA, for the amazing work you accomplished during the hackathon. Next up, third place and also the best old student team is Team 3994 from the USA. So congratulations to Lin Yang, Yue, Guo Guo, and Wei Liang for your work on improving agricultural productivity and reducing food insecurity in the least developed countries. So they use AI-driven ArcGI technology to try to increase agricultural productivity and increase food supply, reduce agricultural inflation, reduce overall poverty and malnutrition. So they use different data sources such as satellite imagery, cropland data, weather data, etc. to train their AI system, which provides a yield forecast and database decisions. So congratulations again, Team 3994, for your great work during the hackathon. Next up from the youth track is the key contributor, Team Graph Out Loud from the UAE, Khaled, Fatima, Abel, and Karan, who developed a project on monitoring wheat in Egypt. They were really active on Slack to help answer questions from the different teams, also trying to kind of lift up the moods, especially in stressful times. And they also produced a really nice project at the end of the hackathon. So we really wanted to emphasize their participation, which was very positive and very uplifting. So congratulations again, Team Graph Out Loud from the UAE, for your great help in this hackathon. Next up, again from the youth track, is the team 4SKA1. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing the names correctly. They won the best visualization in the project. They were able to come up with some really nice graphs and like visuals to help with their projects. They developed a project on food insecurity early warning system, and we'd like to congratulate Mohammed, Figari, Pasca, and Bargos for their amazing work in this hackathon. Congratulations again. Next, from the youth track, is the team who won Best Presentation, the Team Treasury Data Lab from Indonesia. They developed a project on projecting the impact of conflict and blockages, preventing malnourishment. So congratulations to Muhammad, Ibnu, Julianda, Afrizal, and Kartiko for your great work in this hackathon and for coming up with a presentation that was really nice to read and follow. So thank you so much for spending the time, and we know a lot of teams did that. Thank you so much for, on top of producing some really great insights and inputs, thank you for taking the time to produce projects and presentations that were very clean. We know it took a lot of time, especially in those short 4 days. So thank you so much for doing that, and congratulations to Team Treasury Data Lab for producing the best presentation in the youth track. The next is the most promising team from Indonesia, Team the UMBIS, that developed a project on climate resilience index for climate resilience future in Indonesia. So congratulations to Yoga, Dede, and Miftahul for the amazing work you accomplished during this hackathon. We're really proud of what you were able to accomplish, especially because you were getting started in that field. So congratulations for coming up with this idea. And next, an area that we're really proud of, as you know, every year we have many teenagers who want to participate in the hackathon, even if they're sometimes still in high school or even, uh, like lower up. They really want to kind of get introduced to data science early on, and we're really wanting to congratulate Team Sustainable Youth Hackers, SYH, from the UAE, who did their best in this competition. They worked on some analysis on the impact of climate change. So congratulations to Ahmed Salim, Muthana, Aya, and Ala for their great work, and we really want to encourage you to keep participating in such events to be able to develop your skills, even if it's that early in your career. Congratulations again for your contribution and your work. Lastly, we really wanted to encourage all of the teams that had really great projects in their regions. As you know, we had teams from all around the world that were both participating on site or remotely. So we wanted to congratulate Team Datamine from Benin in Africa, Team M3GA from the Philippines in Asia, Team ONS Health Surveillance from the UK in Europe, Team CS Players from Brazil in Latin America, Team Data I from Lebanon in MENA, Team 3994 from the USA North America, and finally Team Endelip from Australia in Oceania for your amazing contributions to your regions. As we explained, we'd like to take this further and we'd like to see how these projects could be potentially further developed and potentially also implemented in real life. So we'll keep you updated as we work through this. But we wanted to congratulate you for representing your region well. We tried to kind of make sure to have this regional solidarity during the hackathon, and we're really proud that we had representations from all of these regions. Congratulations to all the teams, even those that didn't make it to the awards. You did well, you did really well, and we're very proud of your work. So now I'll pass it on to Abhijit to showcase the Big Data Experts Awards.
Thank you, Mima. I hope I'm audible. Yes. So moving on to the expert track, we know that we had a lot of tough competition within the big data expert track, working on big data sets such as the AI's data and other big data sets. And the overall winning team and the team with the best visualization was Team Certus Data from Indonesia. We would love to congratulate Mr. Amanda, Mr. Ignatius, Subri, Vismu, and Amin for creating a project, the No AIS, which is a self-service analytics program for global shipping networks. The team using AI's both data and official statistics datasets, the team aimed to develop a system to monitor global shipping networks and to conduct analysis on the relationship between global shipping networks and statistical indicators of the world economy. Focusing on the current conflict, the team picked the Baltic and the Black Seas as their target zone to analyze the impact of the Ukraine war. And the conclusion was that the war does impact not only the warring nations, but also the other countries within the shipping networks in the region. So congratulations to Team Certus Data for creating a really advanced project and using a lot of AIS data to create the analysis and especially create a project that helps in analyzing the impact of wartime effects on the shipping networks in the region. Next up, we have in this winning the second overall team and the best presentation as well. We have Team Big Data, IMF Big Data from the USA, and the team created a project called Saving Whales, and the project focused on due to the increased ocean traffic encroaching on whale habitats. The team looked at the issue of great whale mortality due to the collision with ships. Broadly, they aimed to support the international climate action by measuring the social cost of deadly vessel strikes on great whales, which is an important carbon sink, and to use the outcome to inform the design of whale conservation policies. The team also developed a whale mortality model based on several criteria, such as the size and speed of the ship, and the whales, and the ship's transit time, the number of whales in the area, and many other criteria as well. And in addition to AIS and ship register data, they also utilized whale density data sets for the US East Coast and Southeast Canada as well. So congratulations to Alberto, Patricia, Yang, Ayub, and Andras for coming up with such an incredible project. And honestly, the competition between deciding on the first top 3 tracks, top 3 winning teams within the big data expert track was quite difficult because of the high quality of standards with all the top 3 teams. So moving on to the third best team, we have team Multiways of Data from Thailand. And congratulations to Susak, Viris, Pakwat, Izaro, and Versot. They created a project on the rice value chain, which aimed to tackle the SDG 2 on zero hunger. The team utilized various big data sets, satellite imagery, and AI data to monitor the rice value chain from production to distribution, respectively. And firstly, the satellite data was used to predict rice production in real time by quantifying vegetation, greenness, and rice paddies. And then they used machine learning models, which were trained to predict rice production each year. And secondly, they used linear probability and logistic models to estimate rice exports. So congratulations again to Team Multiverse of Data from Thailand. Next up, we have the big key contributor in the big data expert track, which was from Team Jemmy. I hope I'm pronouncing right, from the UAE. Congratulations to Mohammed and Rajkumar, Nur Huriyadatul, Ahmad Najmi, and Tengu Nordila. The team Jamie was created a project which observed the relationship between the price and trade flow of onions and a few more categories as well. So congratulations again, and especially in the Slack, providing inputs and support to all the other big data expert teams as well when there were issues with other teams that were facing. So congratulations again, and thank you for being such a support within the hackathon. Next up, win the big data expert track, we have the regional team member winners from the African region. We have the team explorers, which is from South Africa, and from Asia, Sedis Data in Indonesia. From Europe, we had the team Data Dive from France. From Latin America, we had Skipopolis from Brazil. From the MENA region, we had the UAE Big Data Diversified Big Data Expert team. And in North America, IMF Big Data. And from the Oceania region, we had QUT Center for Data Science team as well. So congratulations to all of the Big Data expert teams for taking on such a hackathon and competing in it and bringing out a lot of amazing projects. And hopefully some of these projects we would be able to explore a bit more and look into the possibility of a further implementation and analysis as well. We would be keeping in touch with the teams regarding this. And again, congratulations to all of the teams that competed, and especially to the teams that had a winning position. Thank you. Over to you, Umima.
Thank you so much, Abhijit. All right, so we really wanted to be able to showcase all of the top 3 teams' work. We'll make sure to do that actually in a blog post on the UN website, and we'll share the link with you guys once that is done. But for today, we wanted to focus on the 2 winning teams from both tracks. So next up, we're going to have presentations from the teams in live. So live demo from youth track winning team Data I, and another one from the Big Data Experts track winning team Serdas Data. So we'll get started with the youth track, if that is okay. So the Data I team, I'll stop sharing and I'll let you take it over. All right, so I'll stop sharing and yeah, let us know once you're ready to share.
Hello, everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us today. We're the Data I team as presented by myself, Sarah, Dima, Ghana, and Muhammad. Today, we're presenting our solution that falls within the theme of the rise of food and energy prices affecting vicious cycles of poverty, hunger, and inequalities. So Since the late 2000s, a strategic rethink has seen the World Food Programme shift from the concept of food aid to that of food assistance. While food aid is a tried and tested model proudly woven into WFP's history, it sprang from a largely unidirectional, top-down vision. People were hungry, and we fed them. This shift to food assistance is about recognizing that hunger does not occur in a vacuum. We want a balance. We want to balance the urgency to address hunger here and now with the broader objective of ending hunger once and for all. It means we must shift from a reactive approach to a proactive one, where we concentrate time, resources, and efforts on the most vulnerable in society. So, we do not want to feed the hungry. We want to achieve zero hunger to help achieve the SDGs. Let's look at what is the UN doing about this right now. The UN is distributing in-kind food baskets, cash assistance and redemption points, support to national institutions and partners to strengthen their capabilities to provide safety nets and services. But let's zoom further in in-kind food baskets, which are parcels that include rice, wheat, lentils, tuna, oil, and so many others. These in-kind parcels help families by three things that we can identify. By first, mitigating the risk of market volatility and threats to food availability and access, freeing up resources to cover over other basic needs such as medicine, rent, education, and otherwise, and distributing a selected of foods chosen to prevent malnutrition and meet nutritional needs. So let's go further and let's look at Lebanon as our example. What challenges currently exist with the distribution of in-kind food parcels in Lebanon? Allow us to give you an overview of the country's current situation. Food parcels provide beneficiaries access to food at a time when inflation and currency depreciation have rendered basic commodities out of reach for many. Food prices have increased by more than 15 times since October 2019, while the minimum wage has been left unchanged and unemployment rate has risen. Meanwhile, the global rise in prices has notably impacted Lebanon, a country that heavily relies on food imports. Increased prices of food, namely wheat and oil, coupled with increased fuel prices, have entitled further inflation in the country. We encourage you to look into the numbers further on our interactive dashboard to have a proper understanding of the situation. The challenges that currently exist when it comes to food parcel distributions are the following. Change in brand availability due to the instability of the economic situation. Inflation rates are on the rise. Increased rate of vulnerable people who need assistance, where 46% of the Lebanese are estimated to be food insecure and unable to access enough nutritious food to meet their dietary needs. Moreover, an analysis by UNICEF and the International Labour Organization revealed that only 20% of subsidies benefit the poorer half of Lebanon's population. In less than 3 years, the average price of the food basket distributed by WFP has increased by 1,500%. And that's a huge number. So the question is, how can the UN expand its programs to support the increasing rate of vulnerable people with a significant rise in food prices and restricted pool of resources? With Spoonful, a platform that takes into account two factors that help optimize the distribution of parcels. First, by identifying the population vulnerability by ensuring the right people everywhere are reached. And second, by optimizing the food parcel price real-time without compromising quality, for sure. We identified vulnerable areas. And I'll actually not go through this part. I'll hand over to my colleague who will take you through the details.
Thank you, Sarah. So first, Spoonful aims to ensure that the vulnerable and right people are being reached. So today we know that vulnerability and poverty are being estimated using surveys. Surveys that we all know that they are costly, time-consuming, and labor-intensive. Thus, poverty data is uncertain and sparse in several countries. However, there is today a growing literature that validates the power of utilizing satellite imagery data and machine learning algorithm in assessing poverty within a certain area. And Spoonful adopted this theory to generate real-time vulnerability estimation. How? So Spoonful deployed data that is purely satellite imagery data. We got data from FAO in order to identify the boundaries of the first level administrative units, the nighttime light data, which has a huge correlation with poverty, word pop in order to identify the population within a certain area, Copernicus global land cover that talks more about the coverage within a certain area, and topographical data using NASA SRTM digital elevation. So all this data was considered as our features, and the target of our study was that we needed poverty data in order to set it as our target, and the poverty data that we relied on was the multidimensional poverty indices that is generated by OFI. So all this data were trained in machine learning models. I'm not gonna delve more into the tech beyond it, but definitely there was a train and test set. The data was pre-processed and featured in a way in order to be utilized in the machine learning algorithms. The best performed machine learning algorithm was the random forest regressor that achieved an 87% coefficient of determination on a training set. For the second factor, Dima will talk more about it.
Hello, everyone. So, after identifying population vulnerability as explained by my colleague Rena, our next goal was to optimize the food parcel basket price in real time without compromising the quality of the food items chosen in the basket. So the way that we structured our thinking and our goals of the food assistant optimizer that we named Spoonful was as follows. First of all, to maximize the number of households that can be served given the resources available within the selected period of time. And second, to optimize the food box price by mapping the commodity brands of the most affordable items, again, stressing without compromising the quality of the food that we are giving out. So the data that was used was actually web scraping data of the basic commodity prices that we got from supermarket websites. And the tech that was used in order to make this all come to life was the programming language Python, and we deployed our code on Streamlit in order to get our web app Spoonful. So this is our MVP Spoonful. Rena, would you like to go ahead?
So, yep. Our target audience, or who would be interested in using Spoonful, any UN concerned agency that they aim to distribute food parcels among a certain country. So what we did in Spoonful across Lebanon can be done in any country. So any concerned agency can access Spoonful, can select a country. Here we are selecting Lebanon. Whenever a country is being selected, what happens is that the districts within the country, the first level districts, are shown here based on FAO administrative units. Okay, so let's say if a certain agency is concerned to or is interested in distributing food parcels aid within Beirut, when the agency sets Beirut, first thing that's going to happen that the number of households here that's going to appear is based on the district choice, is based on the word pop data. So it is a real-time data that shows the number of households within Beirut today. Okay, this is the first thing. The second thing that's going to happen is that a map that has predictive results, the predictions of today's poverty. So let's say the UN agency is aiming to distribute the aid within Beirut, and when they look into the map here, they can see that there are other areas that they suffer more, or more vulnerable population exist in other areas. And this map is being classified based on the machine learning model that I previously mentioned, where only satellite imagery data are being utilized here in order to develop these predictions. So this is a real-time estimation for the vulnerable areas within Lebanon.
Yes. And next, so after we can assess which areas are most in need in an unbiased way as possible, the next step is to actually, so for this tutorial, we only took 5 main items, which are powdered milk, pasta, tuna, cheese, and sunflower oil, common items found in the food basket. For each one, we chose 3 alternatives. It's just a minimal viable product. And what the user can do is select the items that they would usually choose and run Streamlit. In the back end, it does optimization to get the best price, and it gives it as an output for the user to see which are the best product and, most importantly, how many households we can help when we have an optimized version. So we can see the difference between the initial difference, which is like number of households served. And I think Rena is running the spoonful recommendation to get the optimized number of households served. So Spoonful shows you how many more households you can help by running the food assistance optimizer, which is our end goal, to help more people and to abolish as much poverty as possible and the hunger. The program
Sorry,
takes
we
some
missed
time
to
to load.
showcase the app from the beginning. Yeah, so it's just gonna take around like less than 1 minute. Just what I want to add to Dima is that what's happening now, that Spoonful is looking into and under each subsidy, like under powder milk, based on the agency's choice. So the choice here, let's say, was brand Nido. They are using the natural language processing techniques in order to find the same item that has the same specifications of Nido and recommend it to our agency that the target audience of Spoonful. So for every subsidy, the same thing is happening. So here was the choice for only 5. So the same methodology is happening across all. So Dima, would you like to talk about the results, please?
Yes, so as we can see here, we have the number of households served being 9,381 when it's just the unoptimized version, and the optimized Spoonful version got us to 16,116 households served. So we can see there's a big difference when our total funds were around $400,000, and thus a significant amount of households are helped using Spoonful.
Okay, thank you, Dima. Rena, can you please share the PowerPoint? So, to sum up, Spoonful can support the UN's efforts to help achieve goal number 2 of the SDGs, zero hunger. Next slide, please. So, as you can see from the demo, Spoonful can actually help the UN better utilize their current budget to reach more people and to target those who are truly in need. Next slide, please. So Spoonful can also be expanded to include any country in the world. It doesn't have to be limited to Lebanon. And furthermore, the platform can also integrate a diverse set of suppliers. So any UN agency in that way will be able to make a better choice when they're selecting the food products that they will include in the food box. They'll be able to make a better choice with a more diverse set of products. They're not limited to a certain set of suppliers like the more traditional method of food assistance is. Next slide, please. And we would like to thank you all for listening, and thank you very much for the hackathon. It was an incredible experience, and feel free to reach out to us. We have our email addresses on the slide. Thank you very much.
Excellent job. Thank you so much, Team Data Eye, for the great work you accomplished. I think this dashboard can be very relevant, and we'll see, ways in which we could help you reach out to different UN agencies and try to implement it more in different countries. So now next we're going to hear from the Big Data Experts track winners, Team Sardas Data, who are going to introduce us to their solution as well. So yeah, I'll let you share your screen and walk us through your projects.
Okay, good day everyone. It's an honor to be here today as the winning team. We would like to start by thanking the
Sorry,
organizers.
Ignatius, could you please increase the sound? We can hear you, but it's a little bit low. Yeah.
Okay, we would like to start by thanking the organizers. Is it enough, right? Okay. Okay, thank you for providing us this amazing moment. We also want to extend our gratitude to the community who have taken part in this competition. And here, we would like to share our work, NoAIS, self-service analytics platform for global shipping networks, as we believe that the nature of AIS dataset is the interconnection between different countries, represented by the port and being connected by the vessel. And here we are, Jaras Data team. Allow me to present the members of the team. I, Ignatius Aditya Setiadi, and Amanda Pratama Putra, Sugiri, Wismu Sinarmodo, and Amin Sinurun Groho. Now, I'd like to draw your attention to a significant story in a global trade. The article on Al Jazeera highlights the transformation of the Romanian port of Constanta into a key transit hub for Ukrainian grain. Before the war, the port was not utilized for Ukrainian cereal, but today it accounts for approximately 30% of port's activity, proving its ability to adapt to changing conditions in the world. This transition demonstrates the huge influence the events like war may have on a global trade. It serves as a valuable lesson for us in the industry and highlights the importance of being prepared for the unpredictable, since 80% of global trade is conducted by maritime transportation. Based on this fact, we set two main objectives for this project. First, we would like to develop a decision support system which processes AIS big data in a timely manner through insight generation, as well as monitoring of global shipping networks using knowledge graphs. And second, we would like to conduct analysis and provide a proxy for statistical indicators of the world economy. Over to you, Sugiri.
Ready. To accomplish our objectives, AIS data used as main data. AIS data is made up of tons of data that is captured on a daily basis. Its raw format is a very complex pattern so that the initial filtration is conducted to get the most needed information during the process, ensuring that the feature selection process is carried out in the best possible way. Baltic and Black Seas are chosen as the targeted zone to analyze the impact of the Ukraine-Russia war. The selection process involves using H3 resolution 1 and its hexagonal ring. The data used for the analysis includes approximately 10 million records from the period of January to June 2022, as well as a similar time period from 2021, which includes approximately 9 million records for comparison purposes. To validate our solution, we pick one of the official statistics indicators, namely global value chain, from UNCTAD, which consists of 189 countries and rest of the world region. The index can represent foreign value added, domestic value added, and indirect value added for the global economic world. Here now is Amanda Pratama Putra.
Okay, so in order to achieve our objectives, We have built the No AIS platform following this architecture, which are comprised of several components. And the first part is actually the data pipeline, where we process the AIS datasets from UNGP by using PySpark and combine it with the port location information. And then this allows us to build a shipping trajectory lineage for each vessels. Then we use this trajectory data to construct a knowledge graph, which we can then analyze using the Neo4j Graph Data Science library. And finally, we present the results of our analysis through the platform with four main use cases. First is the pathfinding, and then community detections, port ranking, and AIS to vector. A graph embedding approaches to put the country and port into a vector representation that can be used for further analysis in machine learning, such as anomaly detection or maybe missing data imputation. And next, from AI's data, actually we built a vessel trajectory, and this trajectory results contain the shipping lineage attributes such as average speed, distance, and vessel identity, like MMSI, type, width, length, country, etc. And the distance is actually calculated by aggregating each movement of the vessel during the trip rather than just simply calculated directly from the one place to the other place or from origin to the destination. Next. So in order to get the insight from the data, we will use a knowledge graph. So we need to define the ontologies first. And the ontologies actually are semantic data models that define the types of things that exist in our domain and the properties that can also be used to describe them. And there are three main components to the ontology, which are usually described as a notice, an edges, as well as a properties. And using this ontology as a framework, we will be able to add the real data from AIS about the individual ports, ships, and also its shipping trajectory to create a knowledge graph of around 31K nodes with 68 edge connection. Next. And now I'll present the more detail for the main features in our platform. The first one will be the port-to-port recommendation. So in this early prototype, actually the first feature we demonstrated is a path finding between the ports, and we use the Yen's shortest path algorithm, which computes a number of k shortest path between the two ports. And it can be used to find the efficient shipping routes based on the historical data from AIS. So the link between each port in the graph database can be dynamically updated based on the real condition, like the port closed due to disaster, conflict, or even the blockages. And next, the next feature will be the community detection. So the second feature we demonstrated was community detection by using the low-vein algorithm to detect the country or port level communities in this large shipping network. And the clustering result can be used for detecting the dynamic changes in the world shipping community for the global value chains. And also the country clustering also show a very consistent result with the maritime zone of the Baltic Sea, Black Sea, and the other countries close to these areas. Next, pass to Wismo.
Okay, thank you, Manda. I'll take it from here. So if we take the median ranking of ports in each country, we could get the relative country rank based on the centerness. Here we can see on the left the table of relative country rank based on median rank of ports in each country in the Baltic area. Notice the rank of Ukraine and Russia is changing significantly between 2021 and 2022, since both of the countries involved in a war started in early of 2022. From the system, we could see where the war affected the shipping from the countries. Next. Further analysis could also be done on how shipping affects the economy from the AIS knowledge graph. We found that this ranking has strong rank correlation with global value chain or GVC, indexed with R of 0.8 at Black Sea area, while the correlation at Baltic Sea can be estimated as moderate with R of 0.55. Please note that this ranking is generated only using limited area of IIS data, so this ranking only represents local area ranking from local shipping because of the time limitation. Next. Another output that could be derived from the graph is port similarity. Using the embedding factor of the IIS knowledge graph, we could get the similarity between ports. Next. And lastly, from our prototype, we can take a look at the IIS knowledge graph. It could be done interactively. Using this tool, we could get the big picture of the bird clusters, how they connected to each other, and this sum up all of the output from the previous output that derived from this graph. Next. I think that's all for our presentation. We hope this system prototype can be developed even further, since this prototype can gain insight from the AIS big data. Thus, the stakeholder could make decisions better based on derived real-time AIS data comprehensively. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much for the presentation, Team Sardas Data. I think this was amazing that you were able to come up with such a thorough solution. The prototype, is accessible. We'll also try to share it on the blog for people to kind of take a look at it. But I think this is, great work making use of the AI's data. So thank you so much for sharing this with us today. So we have one last item to discuss with the team before ending this closing ceremony. Now that we've taken a look at the presentations from the winning teams, and again, some of the winning teams members will be attending the UN World Data Forum in Hangzhou, China, to share their work as well to a wider community. So the last step actually is to discuss the next events, and I'll let Lucy Pearson go over them. Lucy, are you able to take over? Oh, I think you're muted.
Sorry, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad I was able to join from the start of the webinar and hear all the fantastic ideas shared. I feel incredibly inspired and energized. I'm Lucy Pearson, and I'm from the Global Partnership for Sustainable Development Data. And I am thrilled to tell you a bit about our festival de Datos, which is a forum of celebration, exchange, and discovery of practical data solutions to the world's biggest challenges. So the three-day festival at the start of November this year is hosted by the government of Uruguay, and we'll see over 600 people brought together from 50 countries. So whether you're working in climate adaptation, or you've got an interest in health or education, or just general data system strengthening, we want to see you there. Whether you're from a government, the UN, a company, civil society, or a youth group, we want to see you there. We want that mix because we know that solving the world's biggest development challenges will take an all of society approach. But what will bring us all together is our desire to protect people and planet, to offer new data solutions, to put people at the center of data. So the aims of the festival is for everyone to add tools to their toolkits. We want people to contribute to emerging debates, to consult diverse populations, share your best practice, your worst practice, your innovations, and to leave with new partners. And in particular, we want the event to be able to provide exposure and connections and skills for emerging leaders that represent the positive future we're trying to co-create. So towards all of that, what will it look like? We are going to be having curated matchmaking sessions to match solution to problem, failure and impact showcases, ideas labs, and we're really looking forward to thinking through how we can connect the 2023 hackathon into the Festival de Datos. So in terms of themes that will be very prominent there, we'll focus on challenges of timely data, inclusive data, accountable data governance. So we really want the most recent advances and barriers to be brought to the forefront. We want discussions around open data, transparency, non-traditional types of data. So some particular ideas we'd be interested to hear, running sessions on data at the right scale for climate action, capturing true loss and damage, public-private partnerships for sudden and slow onset crises, institutionalizing citizen-generated data, putting people in charge of their own data, And it's been really amazing listening to the ideas shared in this webinars. It is these kind of solutions that we want everyone to hear about at the Festival de Datos. And we want people to then go home and replicate them. So I really hope to be able to see many of you there, and also to connect up the hackathon into the festival. So I can see that the link has been shared in the chat, which is great. Please do go ahead and register your space now. And in March, we'll be opening applications to run sessions, and we hope to be able to hear from some of you on that, as well as a bit later, soon after, the application for travel support to get to Uruguay to come to the festival. So please do sign up to the mailing list on that website to stay up to date on that. And I can't wait to see you all inspiring even more people at the festival in November. But you know, this is one of the events that's happening in 2023, where we really hope that you'll be able to take some of these ideas forward and continue to come up with new ideas with other people. So I'll hand back over for others to talk about the other events.
I don't know if Ronald, you want to say a word or two?
Yeah,
to
just
close?
yeah. Now, first of all, so a few things in closing. First of all, we see how brilliant these projects are, and we just saw two of them, and I'm sure there are many others that are really worth sharing. I hope that that as we saw in the chat, if for instance the presentation of Data Eye on their proposals in Lebanon could be taken further, so if we can work with the various UN country team agencies to see if they can take it on and really put this in practice and help people out there. And similarly, we can also see if the proposal, the solution given by the team from Indonesia could also be taken further. So great work, and for that also I think it's great to have a 2023 Big Data Hackathon. We would like to work on that. Internally, we've been discussing like the Festival de Datos would be a great opportunity to host this or to organize the Big Data Hackathon around. We sprang it a little bit in the last moment to the organizers, the Global Partnership for Sustainable Development Data, where Lucy is representing. But we really hope, Lucy, that you get a good idea what we are doing. And that we can work together to see that even though a lot of what we do on the hackathon is remote, that we also can have some on-site participation of the hackathon at the event in Uruguay. We have a from my side on this UN Committee of Experts, we have a regional hub in Brazil. The regional hub in Brazil participated already in the 2022 hackathon, and they would be. We already discussed with them that they might reach out and see if they can do something in Uruguay, given that they are relatively close to the event. It's in the Punta del Este, right, in Uruguay, which is actually, I looked it up on the map. It's not only close to Montevideo, the capital, it's also very close to Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina. So it's well placed. And I hope to see everyone there for the next hackathon. So back to you, Maima. Again, congratulations to all winning teams. I think this is great. I think it's also very inspiring, and I hope that we continue here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lucy and Ronald, for the closing statements. So yeah, please stay tuned for the next edition of the 2023 UNBDH. And to answer one of the teams, yes, we're working on mentorship programs to see how some of these ideas can be brought to life. So we'll be reaching out to you in the next couple of weeks. We'll also reach out with the certificates of participation and awards in the next couple of days. So yeah, we have everyone's email addresses. Do not worry, we are not going to forget about you, and we'll get all the communication you need. And of course, if you want to just, if you want to stop receiving this communication, let us know too. We don't want to force you into this, but yeah, we'll keep in touch. We'll make sure that yeah, we are here every step of the way for every important event. We want to build this community. It's not just like one-time event. We want to make this a more long-term goal of us to make sure that we include all of these ideas from youth, from big data experts into solving SDGs. So again, thank you everyone. Great job. You inspired a lot of us, including organizers that have been, telling you in the comments. And we'll stay in touch. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk soon. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Umayma. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. Congratulations to the winners. Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.